The world is in a serious economic crisis where food shortages, the cost of living is almost at peak, where they anticipate the average household will pay £4,000 or dollars extra on their household bills. $4,000. Many families, never mind those who are struggling, but they're arguing that even middle income, middle class people are going to really struggle to make ends meet. Now, while this struggling is going on, people might think, well, what is the solution? Because the war between Russia and Ukraine should not have really involved the Western powers, because Ukraine is not a NATO country. Ukraine is not part of NATO. So getting involved, whether by intention or not, whether they are trying to be accomplices or, if you like, try to take a subtle involvement through selling arms to Ukraine. I'm not sure whether they're giving the arms free of charge or whether they're making money on the side. But Britain and America and other countries should not have got involved because Ukraine is not a NATO ally, okay? But obviously, if you have a warmongering mentality and you are going to benefit out of the loss of lives or enforcing your own democracy, then of course it's in your interest to break international laws because you know what you get out of it. However, as a result of this, many families will suffer. Many families. Bill Gates and all the billionaires and multi-millionaires who can't relate to the average household, they will sit there and pretend they're feeling the pinch because they don't want you to go into a revolutionary act and take away their wealth. So they have to keep you in the illusion that they can relate to you. Well, they can't. Back to my subject anyway. What's interesting is that you push people far enough. The government think that they have successfully brainwashed the masses. They really thought that they've attacked your identity, your sense of self, your gender identity. They thought they can push you up against the wall. So when situations like this happen, you're like a zombie. You don't know who the hell you are, so you can't fight back because you're so busy trying to process all the New World Order agenda that has taken place on your mind, all the spiritual warfare, chaos, psychological chaos. That when situations like this happen, you're wondering, how do I fight back? And I don't know who the hell I am. So it was all planned, it was all designed to break you down so that there'd be no revolution. Well, a revolution's already started. People are realizing, I can't cope. I can't live on food banks. I can't live struggling to put food on the table. Feed my family while the government are playing politics with my life. Do you know that Liz Truss, they're saying that even if she wins, Britain is so broken down, her government is functioning on chaos. There is no hope for England, no hope whatsoever. it's only rich people taking care of rich people, the government taking care of their jobs. When Liz Truss is fighting, she's not fighting for you, you poor peasant. She's fighting for rich corporate companies. She's fighting for OPEC. She's fighting for the gas companies. She's not fighting for you. They're fighting for themselves. And while you worshiping them like God Almighty, while you worshiping them, bowing down, living on their every word, as they give you nothing but false hope, you then don't realize that you are setting yourself up for a big fall and disappointment. Did you know I'll try and post the links on here. I made a video saying that the government, everything that they're going to do, everything is going to fail. There's going to be utter chaos. This is Brexit, fires, natural fires, COVID, monkeypox, the war in Russia and Ukraine. I said this would be the famine that's going to break down the Western economic power. And I stated my reasons why. And I stuck to my dream and vision I had in 2015 that the government would never come together. They had David Cameron, they had Theresa May, they had Boris Johnson. You know, now they're fighting to replace Boris Johnson with Liz Truss. And you know, each time they change, the leader, it shows corruption that is so rampant inside the Conservative Party. And even if you replace them with Labour, no matter who you replace them with, the curse is on the planet. It's like a great reset, which means that either it will lead to revolt or revolution. Either the people are zombies, either the people are brainwashed, and they will sit back and listen to false hope. And like you ever see these pastors, while they're getting fat, these pastors, while they're getting fat and rich, and they're telling you, I can relate to you, give you soap dreams, etc. While they're making money out of you, but they know for what the con artist. This is the same way with the government. They know they serve rich corporate companies. They know they serve the bankers. They know they make money from wars. They know they don't care about the poor. But they have to give you enough carrot by your nose, enough carrot to spin you an illusion that you matter, that your life matter. In reality, it doesn't. They're experimenting on you to see how far they can break you and to make sure that you never ever revolt. But I tell you something, that even in Bible days, even medieval days and the 1300s, the revolt of the peasants, sooner or later people do resist and people do retaliate, and that is what the government is scared of. They want to protect corporate companies. They want to protect their livelihoods. They want to protect themselves. That they don't care about you. They rather spend 30 billion on nuclear weapons than sorting out the living crisis. I remember a quote when what was it? They asked God, why is it that it's a quote, why is it that people are greedy and there's so much suffering? To which God replied, ask yourself that question. In other words, what we see around us, all the evil, the wars, and the disasters, the pandemic, you have to look at the government. They've created this hell, and they don't care about your life. You're only a means to an end. That's all. You're just a distraction tactics. When they want to use you, they will stir you up and conquer and divide. They keep you poor, but what they'll do, like a puppet in a box, when they need you to confuse you to do their dirty work, then they will raise you up the box like a puppet. You know, this is how they control us. They don't care about us. I'm going to go back to my theme. I did say from day one, there were going to be disaster. There were going to be, the government will never, ever come together in unity because of a vision and a powerful dream I had in 2015. I said the earth was going to be in utter chaos. Utter chaos. What would be interesting is how far people would allow the government to lie to them and manipulate them. Because Liz Truss is no different to Boris Johnson. But there's no government at the moment leading Britain. No government. Boris Johnson went on holiday with his fourth wife. He's got kids all over the place. This is how Britain voted in a man who had no integrity. He had kids all over the place from different women. And Britain, who boasted that they were a Christian country with morals and values, voted a man who had no moral integrity and a compulsive liar. They voted him as Prime Minister, and look at the damage he's done to Britain. I made videos where I said God would use Boris Johnson like King Nebuchadnezzar. Liz Truss, according to Matt Hancock, is worse than Boris Johnson. She's worse. I don't know what he knows about her, but they said that the British government, they are already, even if Liz Truss become Prime Minister, they said the party cannot unite. It's split. Oh, they'll pretend for their career. They'll pretend that, make face at poor people like you. They're laughing at poor people like me and you. Oh, we're really a unity. They're corrupt as the devil in hell. But the problem is, they know people like you will continue to support their corruption. People are starving, food banks, oil prices going high, inflation, £4,000 they reckon the bill's going to go up to. £4,000. I'm having nightmares just thinking about it. £4,000. I teach singing lessons. That's regarded as luxury. That's the first thing to go. So I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm hoping while God curses the earth, he remembers I was loyal to him. I'm hoping, because I know there is worse to come. But whether there's going to be insurrection, a mutiny, a revolution, depends on how much the government has brainwashed the masses already. It depends how much you've been brainwashed. And it depends on the next chess game, how the government's planning to manipulate you. What tricks they got in store, how they're going to stir you up as distraction tactics. They must protect the rich. They must protect corporate companies. So they have to have a backup plan, a strategy. Have you noticed how when Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak and all these, Femi was fighting for to become Prime Minister, what did they mention? Oh, we got to protect the LGBTQ. While people are starving, while people are trying to put food on the table, All the policy that they could mention was LGBTQ. That's their ammunition. Ammunition to confuse you, to destroy you, to break you down so that you don't have any revolution. And you wonder why they're controlling you, brainwashing you. You can't even put food on the table because they know how to manipulate you, how to divide and conquer you, how to keep you distracted. If you break down the family unit and family identity, then there is no revolution. They know how to get at you. I'm going to make lots of videos in this area because this area I really want to watch, and that is, will there be a revolution? You can hit a hammer on the nail on the board. How long before that board breaks? The French people, they don't mess about. The French, they're always protesting. The British and Americans, they don't have that kind of cultural psychology. But you take bread from someone's table and you take away hope from a nation, and you'll be surprised what they can do. Take away hope and take away the children's bread, and you can see what potentially human beings can do. We're living in a time where there's no hope. No hope. And my dream and vision, showed that. I made loads of videos and I was saying that we have now come to an end. The human race has become so immoral, right? With this love vibration and this strange tolerance of every and anything. And I said that it would lead to disaster. And one thing after the other is just getting worse. And have you noticed now the church people are quiet? All the TD Jakes and Creflo Dollar, they're all quiet. All the faith healers, they've got no words. All they do is give you tickling words, comforting words, because they're fake. They don't know what's going on. They can't see what's going on spiritually. So they say, God's telling you to rest in the storm. Rest in the storm. In other words, they're making it up because they cannot give you a rational explanation as to why the world is falling apart. Boris Johnson said, prepare for empty shelves. He says, prepare for no food. The World Health Organization says, prepare for European famine. Prepare for famine. Prepare to have a big gut. I need to lose weight. So I'll do some more praying and fasting. So it doesn't bother me. As long as I can have a cup of soup, I can do a bit of fasting. You can see my face a bit fat. So I'll do a Daniel special. I'll live on vegetables and water and seek God's face. I'll use this famine, constructively. Because you're going to have to survive, use your mind creatively and positively. Otherwise, you're finished. I'm concerned, 4,000 extra on your bill. The government, if they wanted to, they could stop it. Do you know they spent billions? What was it, 100 billion? 100 billion on nuclear weapons fighting an imaginary enemy? Nobody has ever attacked America or Britain since 9/11 and what was it, 2007. Nobody. Yet they're spending 100 billion while you're starving. They're creating an imaginary enemy. This is how they control you. I gotta get out of here.